Since I ended up on their Christmas card list, I'm going to go ahead and first do sort of free infomercial for the Maryland Crime Victims Resource Center Incorporated before I get to the meat of this video. The Maryland Crime Victims Resource Center Incorporated, MCVRC, has been assisting victims of crime and their families with understanding the criminal justice process, court accompaniment, victim advocacy, counseling, and representation for over 36 years free of charge. Please consider helping us continue our mission by making a tax-deductible donation and returning it in the enclosed envelope, or send the QR code to make a contribution online. So if you want to make a contribution online, which is probably what I think I will do, because I don't have the envelope, go to www.mdcrimeVictims.org. That's www.md, abbreviation for Maryland, crimevictims.org. mdcrimevictims.org. And on to the meat of this video. I normally, even though I do a lot of criticism, I normally don't like to be critical of particular styles or exact direct martial arts clubs. So I'm not going to say which club it was where I saw this idea. I'm not even going to say how I saw it. But basically, in a nutshell, there was a martial arts / combat sport club where the mother wanted her child disciplined by having the child spar with a more experienced child, so that the more experienced child could teach the rude child a lesson by beating him. So basically, put on the pads and the gear, let's step into the contest area, and since the rude child was being rude, literally knock some sense into him. Now, that's not an approach I agree with per se, or that I would necessarily advocate, even though stuff like that does happen. A lot of times when somebody is just super rude and super out there, it'll just show up in class, and a more experienced student or an instructor just ends up having to handle that person and put their ego in check. But as a direct and primary form of discipline, where mommy says to the sensei, sabu, nim, sifu, shifu, coach, or whatever, we'll say instructor, where mom says to instructor, please have someone beat up my child because my child's not acting right. No. Now, if you want to spank your child, honestly, I don't care. That's between you and your child. I didn't spank my children a lot. I barely spanked my children. But I got spanked, so I've seen both sides, and in the end, how the child turns out is just how the child turns out, because we all have free will. So I'm not going to be, pro spanking or contrary to spanking, because when I actually looked up the verse in the Bible that talks about it, it's not whether you spank or not, it's whether you correct the child or not. It's the rod of correction. And I know there are some scholars who said it was an actual rod and all this stuff. It's not the point about the stick. It's the point that you took the time to set the child on the right path. Now, what I am all for is if you say, I want you to talk to my child about what he or she did, I'm all for that, and I would definitely do that. The only stipulations are, I tell everybody, my rules about if your child is fighting in school. As long as they're defending themselves, I don't have a problem with that. And I tell the students I don't have a problem with that. But I also tell the students, but I don't make the rules in this world. So if your school or your parents have a problem with you fighting even in self-defense, you got to live with that. You know that. That's your family dynamic. There's nothing I can do about that. Okay? But having me beat up your child, having me have one of my students beat up your child, or one of the instructors beat up your child because your child was acting up, I'm not going to do that. If you want me to talk to your child about being disrespectful towards you, I can do that. But having me put hands on your child because you want a more serious form of spanking him or her, no. I'm not going to do that. That's stepping over the bounds. And not only that, I think it's teaching a child that you can correct someone by just giving them a 1-2 punch. Now, I know a lot of us feel that way. I bet if I whip their behind, they'd act right. I understand that feeling. Believe me, I understand that feeling. But I'm not going to formalize it and teach it to children in a martial arts setting that's geared towards civilians. Because martial arts and combat sport are about us learning the right way to use violence. And even though I know I'm not perfect and never will be, I can at least not deliberately put somebody on the wrong road. So, if that's the approach you want to take, where you train, good for you. If that's an approach, actually bad for you, but you're free to do what you want. If that's an approach that you want me to take with your child, then here's another video where I have to say that I am not the martial arts instructor for you, and that's okay, because you can find someone who will get someone to psychologically scar and beat your child in that context. So thanks for watching this video, and that even includes teenagers too. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. And peace.